Storytelling. It's not just for campfires and bedtime routines. In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, it's become the secret sauce for brands that stand out. Let me tell you, I am beyond thrilled to get into this topic because the power of a well-crafted narrative can take a brand from being just another player in the market to becoming a memorable part of someone's story. And that's what we all want, right? We're not just talking about selling products or services anymore. We're diving into creating experiences, sparking emotions, and building connections that can endure long after an ad campaign ends. When a brand nails its storytelling, it's like magic. The audience doesn't just see a product, they see a character in their own story, a companion on their journey, a solution in their quest. Now, in this expansive digital era, wherein content is deemed as the supreme sovereign and user engagement is tantamount to the coveted currency, it should be noted that stories go far beyond simple content. They evolve to become the foundational cornerstone of a meticulously strategic blueprint. This blueprint boasts the influential power to incredibly transform and metamorphose your brand's presence within the entire online world completely. Therefore, brace yourself, secure your seatbelt tightly, because in this insightful episode, we're predestined and poised to delve even deeper into the fascinating realms of exceptionally compelling narrative creation and notably proficient digital marketing. And trust me wholeheartedly, it's going to unfold into an extraordinarily captivating story that will undoubtedly be worth recounting multiple times. Have you ever found yourself completely engrossed in a movie or a book to the point where you forget the world around you? Or perhaps there's a commercial that, no matter how many times it comes on, you can't help but watch every time? Well, there's a reason for that, and it all boils down to the psychology of storytelling. Our brains are actually wired to respond to narratives. It's like we're programmed to perk up and listen when someone starts telling a story. This goes way back to our ancestors sitting around a fire, sharing tales of their adventures. That's how they passed on crucial information and bonded with each other. Fast forward to today, and our love for a good story hasn't waned. It's just evolved with technology. But what is it about stories that captures our attention so effectively? Well, for starters, stories stimulate emotions. They have the ability to transport us to new realms, where we empathize with characters and experience their journeys as if they were our own. When we care about these characters, we become invested in the narrative. We feel joy when they triumph and heartache when they suffer. That emotional connection is key. It acts like glue, making the message of the story stick with us long after it's over. And it's not just emotions that get a workout. Our cognitive functions are also engaged when we're wrapped up in a story. When information is woven into a narrative, it becomes easier for us to remember. Think about the last time you tried to learn something new. Were you more likely to recall a list of bullet points or a story that illustrated those points? Stories consist of elements like plots, conflicts, and resolutions, which make information more digestible and memorable. Narratives also trigger our imaginations, making us think and predict what might happen next. That sense of suspense and curiosity, the what happens next, keeps us on the edge of our seats. This not only holds our attention, but also enhances our engagement and enjoyment. Plus, let's not forget about the power of relatability. When stories feature real-life scenarios or universal themes, we see ourselves in them, and that sense of connection is incredibly powerful. It's why stories that speak to our experiences, desires, or fears resonate so deeply. They reflect a part of who we are or who we wish to become. In the sphere of digital marketing, understanding how to harness these compelling elements of storytelling can be a total game changer. By tapping into emotions, encouraging cognitive engagement, creating suspense, and fostering relatability, brands can craft campaigns that not only capture attention, but also maintain it. And in a world where we're bombarded with endless streams of information, that's no small feat. So the next time you're scrolling through your feeds or watching videos online, be aware and pay attention to the narratives unfolding before you. Notice how they affect your emotions, how they make you feel, and the memories they stir within you. That's the enchanting magic of effective storytelling at work, seamlessly melding the art of narrative with the science of psychology to enthrall, captivate, and forge connections. All right, so here's where things get really juicy. I'm super excited to share with you some killer examples of storytelling that cemented themselves in our minds. These are stories that didn't just sell products, they started conversations, they tugged at heartstrings, they stood out in a sea of forgettable ads. Let's rewind a bit to the Share a Coke campaign. Simple, yet ridiculously effective. You could find a Coke bottle with your name on it. That wasn't just personalization. It was a story starter. It made Coke feel like a friend at the party, someone who knew you. Just picture the countless stories and moments people shared while sipping on a soda that, lo and behold, had their name on it. Then there's Dove's Real Beauty campaign. This wasn't about selling soap. It was about redefining beauty standards, challenging societal norms, and promoting self-confidence. When Dove showcased real women with real bodies, it sparked narratives about beauty and confidence that every woman could relate to. It was marketing that didn't feel like marketing because it had heart, soul, and purpose. Remember Dumb Ways to Die? That catchy tune and those adorable yet morbidly humorous characters were all in the name of public service. The Melbourne Metro needed people to pay attention to railway safety. The Brilliance? They didn't lecture, they told a story through an unforgettable song and a series of unfortunate demises that was darkly comedic. And it worked because people remembered and shared the story, and more importantly, the message. Oh, and how could we forget Nike's Just Do It saga? It's one of the longest running and most successful campaigns out there. Each ad is a mini narrative that taps into an athlete's journey or a common person's struggle and triumph in sports. We're not just buying sneakers, we're buying into a belief, a story about perseverance, about just do it. And that's powerful. But it's not just the big players. Take the World's Toughest Job video by American Greetings. On the surface, it was a job interview for a ridiculously demanding role. The twist ending revealed that the job was actually being a mom. It netted millions of views because it was more than an ad. It was a heartfelt tribute to mothers everywhere. These examples, they transcend the average. They weave a narrative so enthralling that you can't help but be drawn in. And it's not just the plot twists or catchy jingles. It's how these stories make us feel. It's how they stick to your ribs, like a good meal or a cozy memory. In each case, the product was almost a backdrop to the story playing front and center. The stories were relatable, emotive, and they conveyed values that resonated with the viewers. They didn't just ask you to buy, they invited you to become part of a narrative much bigger. And that, friends, is the real power of storytelling and marketing. All right, let's talk about how you can craft your brand's narrative. Now, discovering and shaping your brand's story might sound daunting, but it's all about digging into what makes your business tick and getting that message out into the world. First, it's crucial to identify your brand's core values. What do you stand for? What's your company's mission? And most importantly, why should anyone care? You see, your values are the compass that guide your story. They're what resonate on a personal level with your audience. After you've got a grip on those values, it's time to consider your brand's messages. These messages are the key takeaways you want your audience to remember about your brand. It's the what that follows the why of your core values. Think of it this way. If your value is sustainability, your message might be how your products help reduce waste. If innovation is your jam, your message could revolve around how you're pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Once you've layered your values and messages, that's when the magic happens. You start to see a story form, the journey your brand takes to create value, to stand out and connect with the hearts and minds of your customers. And here's the kicker. Stories are about showing, not just telling. So show your customers what it's like to experience your brand. Share customer testimonials, behind-the-scenes glimpses, and the human faces behind the products or services. Don't be afraid to get personal either. People connect with people, not faceless corporations. So whether it's the founder's story or the tale of how your latest product came to be, share it with authenticity and passion. Remember, your brand's narrative is a living thing. It evolves as you grow and learn more about your customers and their needs. Keep it fresh, keep it real, and before you know it, your brand story will not only define you, but also distinguish you in this digital marketplace where everyone is fighting to be heard. So take a hard, in-depth look at what your brand stands for, meticulously carve out those fundamental key messages, and start telling your unique story in a manner that's distinctly and unequivocally you. It's not purely about selling a product or a service. It's about crafting and creating an experience that's engaging, one that your target audience will not just love, but deeply cherish and hold in their memories. And that, dear friends, is exactly how you intricately and thoughtfully craft a compelling narrative that truly embraces and captures the full essence of what your brand genuinely represents in its entirety. All right, let's roll up our sleeves and tackle the real meat of the matter. Practical storytelling tips that you can weave into your digital marketing strategy like a pro. Now, storytelling isn't just about crafting a beginning, middle, and end. It's the art of communication and connection. To make your brand's narrative hit home, you've got to get strategic. Firstly, understand your audience. Really get to know them. What are their hopes, fears, dreams? Use social listening tools, surveys, and interaction data to gather insights. When you know your audience, you're able to craft stories that resonate on a personal level. Once you're audience savvy, you'll want to be consistent across all channels. Whether it's your Instagram posts, your tweets, or your e-newsletter, the tone, the style, and the values should echo throughout. Consistency creates familiarity and trust. Don't forget the hook. In the art of storytelling, the hook is akin to that exceptionally juicy worm that ensnares the unsuspecting fish. It absolutely has to be irresistibly enticing. Employ the use of striking visuals and commence with an extraordinarily engaging opening line or a deeply thought-provoking question. The inaugural few seconds are golden, indeed. Hence, it is imperative to make them count importantly. Let us delve into strategic tactics. Within the realm of social media, employ a series of detailed posts to gradually tell a captivating story over time, much like the intriguing chapters of a lengthy book. This unique serial approach effectively keeps your audience engaged and eagerly coming back for more with anticipation. In the context of your email marketing campaigns, cleverly use subject lines as the attention-grabbing story titles of your narrative. These should invariably spark a healthy dose of curiosity and make a promise of substantial value. Remember, every single email crafted is a new episode in your brand's ongoing epic saga. Therefore, maintain a constant momentum and keep the compelling narrative moving forward continuously. Plus, user-generated content is storytelling gold. When your customers share their experiences with your brand, it's authentic, it's relatable, and best of all, it's persuasive. Feature their stories in your content with their permission, of course. It's like the digital word of mouth. Now you'll want to leverage the power of video. It's sensory rich, it grabs attention. Create short-form video content that highlights customer testimonials, behind-the-scenes peeks, or even mini documentaries about your brand's impact. And don't shy away from the power of words. Blog posts and articles that tell the story behind your brand, the struggles, the victories, the why behind what you do, they draw readers into your world. Lastly, analytics are your friend. Track which stories are hitting home so you can adapt and refine your approach. See where the views drop off, where the shares spike, and where the conversation starts, and tailor your content accordingly. Remember, your brand's narrative is an active, dynamic, living entity. It evolves, grows, and thrives as it adapts to the environment. Constant adaptation ensures it remains relevant and resonant with the ever-changing preferences and trends of your audience. Keep innovating, experimenting with fresh concepts. Keep actively listening to the valuable feedback you receive, and persistently keep the story alive and engaging. Your audience is waiting with eagerness and great anticipation for the next chapter to unfold in this ongoing, captivating saga. Engage them thoroughly, surprise them in unexpected ways, and maintain their interest firmly hooked. All right, we've been on quite the adventure today, unraveling the magic of storytelling and its pivotal role in digital marketing. We kicked things off by understanding how compelling narratives can truly transform a brand's connection with its audience. Then we dove into the nitty-gritty of why stories captivate us. It's that unique blend of empathy and suspense that hooks us in, isn't it? We walked through some jaw-dropping marketing campaigns that nailed their storytelling, highlighting what made each one stick in our minds. And let's not forget the part where we talked about shaping your own brand's narrative. Remember, it's all about the core values and messages that resonate with both you and your community. Now, I want to leave you with a little nudge. Apply these insights. Weave your stories into every tweet, every email, every post. It's these narratives that can uplift your digital marketing from ordinary to extraordinary. So go ahead, tell your tale with authenticity, and watch your brand's engagement soar. Until next time, keep sharing your stories, and let's make marketing magic together.